We're having a ribbon cutting for the Integrated Production Technologies building at Fletcher Technical Community College. It is an exceptional day for what I know will be a facility that will have a generational impact in this community, serving the workforce needs of the oil and gas industry, not just in the Houma-Thibodeau area, but certainly across the greater Gulf region. This facility was a public-private partnership. We all recognize the need for a skilled workforce in the oil and gas industry, and this facility will provide a venue for which our local citizens are able to be trained to go to work in good-paying jobs, not just here in this community, but around the world.
This building is designed for the Integrated Production Technology program. It'll have a lab which has approximately $1 million worth of the latest state-of-the-art equipment in it when it's completed, and it'll be completed right after the event of the day. And then it has a number of computer classrooms for the high technology that we are currently using for instruction, especially in fluid dynamics and 3D animation. So it's a fantastic technology for the students to help them as they pursue a degree in production technology, or as said here, integrated production technology for the oil and gas industry, and especially as is designed for deep water. Welcome. I want to personally thank BP for its generous donation, because without it, this beautiful new facility that you see behind us would not be here today. BP has been, yes. BP has been supporting Fletcher for years, and we're truly thankful to have them work with us. They are helping us prepare the next generation of industry workers, and especially the deepwater oil and gas industry, which is something that we strive also to do every day. To date, BP has donated a total of $5.2 million to Fletcher, and that's since 2009. This is a very significant donation and has helped us fund several different areas of our industry-related curricula. Now, the commitment BP has made to Fletcher not only impacts our students and our faculty, but our entire community. Thanks to BP and its donations, we will ensure the next generation of industry workers come from our local communities, and more important, they stay in our local communities. Meeting workforce needs remains one of the primary issues facing Louisiana, and through the programs and facilities like the Integrated Production Technologies program, we can address and solve this issue.
We pursued a vision of quality technical and academic program that can prepare the people of South Louisiana for a successful career and a lifetime of learning. Today, through our partnership with BP and the state of Louisiana, the next phase of our mission literally becomes reality behind us. The BP Integrated Production Technologies building is the centerpiece of our vision to develop the expertise, the flexibility, and the technical skills necessary to respond to the oil and gas industry's need for a highly skilled workforce. And you'll hear that a lot today. We're in the business of providing a highly skilled, world-class workforce. Driven by worldwide growth in oil and gas consumption, rapid progress in exploration and production technology, and the industry's emphasis on regulatory compliance, the IPT building will help meet the record demand for that responsive workforce training that are housed here. We're proud and thankful to be recognized as Louisiana's Deepwater Center for Workforce Excellence by the Community and Technical College System and by the Board of Regents. With this designation, we're going to expand our current partnerships with Nicholls State University, with South Central Louisiana Technical College, and with other private and public entities to advance our mission.
You're going to be hearing from John, the chairman of North America for BP, and I'm not going to introduce him, but I do want to thank him. I want to thank BP for their very generous contribution, not only investing $4 million in the building of this facility, over $5 million in Fletcher since 2009, as you've already heard, but working with Fletcher not only to train, but to hire the graduates coming out of these programs to go and explore off the continental shelf and on the outer continental shelf and to produce that energy, not only for Louisiana, but the rest of the country. This is truly a company that's interested in investing in the workforce and investing in providing good paying jobs for our people. Let's give John and the entire BP team a great round of applause. One final group, and I'm going to make some brief comments and I'll sit down. The final and maybe the most important group are the faculty, the staff, and the students. We have one of the fastest growing technical colleges right here. Year after year, they've broken records. They didn't let a hurricane slow them down. It is phenomenal. They rank as one of the fastest growing institutions in the entire country. Faculty and staff have done a phenomenal job with this new building. They'll be able to work with more high school students. They'll be able to work with more students going to Nichols. They'll be able to work with more students going and getting good paying jobs. And I know we're here to celebrate a beautiful building, and I hope you get a chance to tour it. And I hope somebody tells you about the 10 classrooms and the 29,000 square foot of facility and the room for growth. But the reality is it's not just about bricks and mortar. It really is about the faculty, the staff, and the students who do such a great job inside these beautiful buildings. Let's give the faculty, staff, and students a great round of applause for what they're doing. I want to make just two simple points, and I'll sit down. The first is this, and they're both connected because this building really represents the future. First, this building represents the future of Louisiana. Everything we have done. I've been privileged to be your governor now. I've been governor now for 6 years, and everything we've done has been about creating jobs for our kids so they don't have to leave this state. Whether it was ethics reforms, cutting taxes, education reform, and there are all kinds of numbers. Our economy has grown 50% faster than the national economy. We got more people working now than ever before at a higher income than ever before. After 25 years of losing our kids for 6 years in a row, they're moving back quicker than they're leaving the state. You may have seen the latest unemployment numbers. We've been below the national average every month since I've been governor, but this last week, again, we set another record for the South, and we've set multiple records for the number of people working in our state, which is why 2 weeks ago when we opened session, I said one of our top priorities has to be to train the people, to train our students and our people to fill these good-paying jobs. We've got 86,000 skilled construction jobs we're going to have to fill just with the projects we've already announced. $50 billion of capital investment, over 80,000 new jobs coming into our state. We need to train the people of Louisiana to fill these good-paying jobs. And that's what makes this building so important. And that's why we announced 2 weeks ago we're supporting a WISE fund, over $141 million increase for higher education, in total $40 million in particular in the WISE fund, to help our institutions train our people for the energy field, for the IT field, for all these great jobs that are coming into our state. Now, this is a good problem to have, but it is a challenge. I'd much rather have the problem we've got today than the problem we had 6 years ago. 6 years ago, we didn't have enough jobs to keep our people here. Today, our challenge is how do we provide the skilled workers? 70% of the companies want to move here or expand here. Tell us one of their top two concerns is finding a skilled worker. And that's why this system and these buildings in particular are so important. We offer a day one guarantee saying our kids will be ready to work on the first day or we retrain them for free. We know the majority of those good-paying jobs are going to require students with training from one of these institutions, one of these facilities. And that's why it's so important we invest in our kids so that the next generation doesn't have to go to Texas or Georgia to pursue their dreams. So today is more than just a building. It's an investment in Louisiana's children and our future. But here's the second and final point I want to make. This is the future for our country. Now, what do I mean by that? Louisiana plays a great role in producing energy for the rest of the country and even the rest of the world. We've got an opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to bring manufacturing, good-paying manufacturing jobs back to this country. In some cases, we don't need D.C. to do anything but get out of the way. All we need to do is do more exploration in our own federal lands and waters off our own coast. All we need is to build the Keystone Pipeline. All we need to do is rein in the EPA. That's why I want to thank our Congressman. Congressman Cassidy is one of those that understands we can make things in this country again. We can make steel. We can make fertilizers. One of the reasons we have an unprecedented investment in our manufacturing base is we've got affordable gas. We've got affordable energy in our state, and we can have that in our country. Let's give our Congressman a round of applause for fighting the good fight for manufacturing jobs. We don't need minimum wage jobs. We don't need to grow that part of the economy. We need to grow these good-paying manufacturing jobs, jobs that come with benefits. That's what this is about. This is about making North America energy independent. This is about enhancing our national security. This is about reducing our trade imbalance. This is about bringing good-paying manufacturing jobs, all because we're producing energy in Louisiana for the rest of the country and even the rest of the world. And it starts with the kids that will be trained here that can go work in those deep waters, using the newest technologies and the newest methods to produce energy where it was unimaginable just a few years ago. Many more things we can say, but the most important thing is today's ribbon cutting is about Louisiana's future. It's about America's future, and there are a whole lot of other people that worked hard to make today happen. To the students that will use these facilities, congratulations. Godspeed on your studies. There are good paying jobs waiting for you. The only thing I ask is you stay in Louisiana as you pursue your dreams. God bless y'all, and thank y'all very much. Congratulations.
Thank y'all for having me. I will build upon what the governor said. And this may seem odd at first, but I'll make the case. When I see that building, I see families. I see families where now, instead of the child moving elsewhere, she or he has the vision of what she or he can learn here. And instead of moving elsewhere, she stays here, has her kids, raises those children next to the grandparents, and that generation indeed goes here as well. Scripture says that if the people have no vision, they perish, but if they have a vision, they prosper. Someone's going to go to that school, and he is going to learn some skill that will make him the next greatest business person that lives in this area. And as he goes on to fabulous success, doing more than we could hope or imagine, he will create tens of thousands of jobs. And that's how our community is preserved, is strengthened, and prospers. Now, we can say that cannot possibly be the case. I know it to be the case. My dad was born in Chicago. We moved here when I was less than a year old. My dad was knocking between jobs, not quite finding the one that fit well for him. And he came to Louisiana, he hit his stride, and now the fellow who was born, me, to a man who never went to college, I'm a doctor, I'm a congressman, I'm running for Senate. Wow, what a great American success story. There is some child here in this community that will go to that school and 50 years from now will stand before another ribbon cutting and saying, because of this school, my mom and my dad hit their stride, and my parents who didn't go to college but went here, now I am, and fill in the blanks. The next governor of the state of Louisiana, the congressman, the engineering firm. Isn't that wonderful? Now, Iowa, hats off to you, to BP, and hats off to the community college and our governor and to our delegation. You are fulfilling a dream that only 50 years from now will we entirely realize. For that, I thank you all.
What this building represents to me is what Louisiana has become and where we're going. It's where we need to go. We need to move Louisiana forward. This is a public-private partnership where no longer is government telling business, you're going to have to hire the people we educate. Don't matter if they get an English degree. Dr. Barrell, I know English is very important. I have a history degree, so I ain't hating on the liberal arts folk. But more importantly, business is saying, government, education, we need you to train people specifically like this. Because it ain't your daddy's oil and gas field no more. It ain't my daddy's oil and gas field no more. We here, along with our partners in Baton, Fouchon, leading the globe in petroleum service. We're showing everybody else how to do it. The leaders in this community, the leaders in this region, the leaders in this state. And I ain't talking about the government leaders that you see on the stage. We're a part of it. But it's the business leaders. With partnerships with folks like BP, all down this corridor, Chevron, Weatherford to my back, that are telling us this is what we need to do to address this boom. I see my good friend Willie Mount sitting in the audience. She and her husband Ben Mount have been committed to education since day one. When we got the appropriation to do this bill, to partner with the $4 million put up with BP, Willie Mount supported us, and Willie, I thank you for that. She continues her service on the LCTS board like her husband Ben, who we surely miss, served on the LSU board, apparently where Stevie aspires to get to. But you've heard enough from me, but I just want to leave you with one thing. It's the dawning of a new day. We have a unique opportunity in the state of Louisiana when an explosion in Southwest Louisiana's economy is centered around oil and gas, when an explosion on the river is centered around the ability for us to move our goods and services from this country around the world to an explosion in this parish to service the nation's #1 energy port. And it's you people that are in this audience that are driving it. And the state of Louisiana is committed to providing you with the skilled workforce that you need to move Louisiana forward. So I thank you.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank BP and the people of BP for the $4 million match to the state on the integrated technology building. And if you look over here, BP looks like they have more construction. I mean, Terrebonne Parish is moving forward. It's becoming a hub of a lot of service companies. So is Lafourche Parish. And, you know, with this building, it's giving our children something, you know, above minimum wage. It's just giving our children making as much money as a new law student coming out of Loyola University or LSU.
After the financial meltdown in 2008 and 2009, I've often thought about that. I was overseas at the time, but I thought, you know, what shape would this country actually be in if it weren't for the energy renaissance? Because you know, it has been the biggest game in town. BP has been a big part of this renaissance. We are the largest energy investor in America. We're the largest foreign investor in America. We have more American employees who work for BP than any other nationality, with 20,000 employees. We create 260,000 jobs in America, and 7,600 of those are in Louisiana, with more than 600 different companies. The energy is going through a tremendous change for really 3 core reasons, I would say. Number one, it's growing. We predict and project that the world will need 40% more energy within 20 years. I mean, that is huge. That means thousands and thousands of more developments, more wells, tons of capital, and that means jobs. The other thing is the jobs are more challenging. You know, technology is needed, better skilled workforce, et cetera, because the reservoirs that we're drilling and producing are deeper, they're hotter, and they're more challenging. The people, you know, the boom and bust cycles of the 80s, that's when I came out. I started in 1983. We were having layoffs every year. You know, Ohio, I worked for Ohio. We went from 4,500 employees in the lower 48 to 450 in my first 10 years. I mean, it was incredible. And so the industry lost a tremendous amount of talent. And so people like me are getting older. You know, I still feel young, but, you know, 40% of the workforce in oil and gas are going to be retiring within a few years. And so if you couple the fact that companies weren't hiring people, we lost a lot of talent, the industry is growing tremendously fast, you can see the tremendous demand for skilled people to work not only in offices, but offshore and in the refineries and whatnot. And that's what this investment's all about. The BP Integrated Production Technology Center is, I'm so pleased that we made the $4 million investment. This school, the bricks and mortar behind us, and the program would not have been possible without the support of the state. And so Governor Jindal, Senator Chabert, did I say that close, man? Norby. I can say that. Representative Dove, and I said last night when we had a little reception that you know, there's one thing you know about elected officials, they do what their constituents ask them to do. And if it weren't for you, the people in this audience, the people in this community that weren't speaking up to your elected officials, this also wouldn't have happened. So I really thank you all very much. The students that come out of here are going to be in high demand. There's no doubt. We did this investment not just for BP, but for the industry. So we'll hire our fair share, but there'll be a lot of students going to work for other companies, which is fantastic. I had the opportunity last night to meet 8 or 10 of these individuals. As soon as they knew who I was, I think they saw a job opportunity or job interview opportunity. I felt like a rock star just for a few minutes. But, you know, I was just so impressed with the students and their drive.
and hearing their hopes and hearing why they were going to school. And some of them, I met one guy that is in his 40s. He gave me a bad time about the vehicle I was riding in. Is he here? Where is he? There you are, my man. He says, I was in a cheap Chevrolet, and he says, man, is that how you roll? Guy, I said, man, we were saving money so we could pay for this school. Anyway, I talked to each of the individuals, and some of them have changed, have been in other jobs. Some of them are just coming out of high school. But the look in their face and the excitement that they have and the future that they want for themselves and for their family, and like the governor and so many others says, they want to stay right here in Louisiana. It was pretty inspiring for me. So as we get to cut the ribbon today, to me it's all about opening a door. It's opening a door for the next generation, for these highly skilled, young, and no matter what age people want to come. It's given them an opportunity to fulfill their dreams and give back to the community. So thank you.
What a beautiful day. Absolutely gorgeous day to be here to celebrate an investment in our community. You know, there are so many people to thank. I want to begin by thanking Mr. Travis Levine. What a vision this gentleman had for this campus, this building, and the one we see behind us. Thank you, Chancellor. I also want to thank our board members who are with us today. A number of them have already been recognized. I also want to mention Mr. Vinny St. Blanc, member of the Board of Supervisors. Also Ms. Willie Mount from Lake Charles, who actually gets to see a little bit of this action on the western part of the state as well, right? And then, of course, you've already met Mr. Stevie Smith. Appreciate the support of the board. You always say thanks to your bosses, right? Thank you, guys. Very much appreciate you. To the support that this community gives to this college, it's extraordinary. From the board to a community that turns out for an event like this one. You are to be commended. It is an investment in the people of this region. To our legislative delegation, thank you so much for the work that you do. To our congressmen, thank you for the support and the work that you do on behalf of this community. You know, our governor a second ago talked about the investment, $250 million in facilities. The investment that is proposed today of a WISE plan of over $120 million. I want you to stop and think for a second. These are not dollars for buildings, for bricks, for mortar. They're investments in people. They're investments in generations of a workforce. Never before has Louisiana been in the place that it is today. We've seen booms and busts, right? We all acknowledge that. But never before has there been a workforce demand like there is today for your sons and daughters and mine. How exciting is that? And today we have an opportunity to invest in the people of Louisiana. I cannot tell you how proud I am to share a stage with BP, thank you, John, and with our governor for the investment that they are willing to make side by side, not in buildings, not in a bill, but instead in the people of the great state of Louisiana. Exciting. You know, today I have an opportunity to talk about something and to announce something that goes even beyond what we have here today in a magnificent facility and in a tremendous investment by a corporate partner. You know, BP made an investment in dollars, but the investment goes beyond that. It is a relationship. It is a long-term relationship. As you have an opportunity to walk through this building, you'll see graphics of a visible picture of the curriculum that will be playing out within this building. A picture of the kinds of things that students will learn inside this facility and the kinds of work that they will do all across this globe. How exciting is that? The relationship that we have, the relationship that this college has with our industry partners is what it's all about. This partnership will last a lifetime and will affect generations. Now, as a result of the contribution here, our friends at BP not only said, we're willing to be your partner and we're willing to write a check, but they also said to us, we're going to do something even more special than that. We're going to go to the Louisiana Mid-Continental Oil and Gas Association and challenge others like us to make similar investments. That is huge. John, for that, we're forever in your debt. So what did our friends from the Louisiana Mid-Continental Oil and Gas Association do? They reached out to the higher education partners, to the state entities to say, let's work together. And so today, we want to announce as a part of this grand ribbon cutting, a relationship that is developing to provide tomorrow's workforce for the oil and gas industry across Louisiana, to become even more precise in our ability to understand the demands of industry as well as our ability to supply labor for the oil and gas industry. Today, we're announcing the signing of a memorandum of understanding between Louisiana Mid-Continental Oil and Gas Association, partners in higher education to include the University of Louisiana system, 9 institutions, Nicholls State University as a partner, Fletcher Technical Community College, South Central Louisiana Technical Community College, the Louisiana Community and Technical College system, our Louisiana Department of Economic Development, and Louisiana Workforce Commission, all focused on solving the workforce challenges of this industry. What an exciting day. We'll certainly be providing more details about this agreement as we go forward, but I think today gives you just a taste of what we will be providing for this region going forward. Thank you very much for being with us today. Thank you again to our friends at BP and to everyone for being with us. Thank you.
I think it's a wonderful day of celebration for us here in the Houma-Thibodaux region, a tremendous investment by our partners BP and the state of Louisiana to improve the workforce of our area.
I'm very impressed. As you can see behind me, there's a fabulous new facility, been partnerships with BP. It's just a beautiful day, and most importantly, it's a facility that will provide great opportunities for the people within this area and throughout the state to come, if they so choose, to get a very good education and then a wonderful job.
What kind of jobs will this prepare the students for?
For technical jobs, working offshore as operators, as technicians, work in production systems, different things, so the young people can work in the refineries, or they can work offshore on deep water platforms or on the shelf.
There's an MOU that we are developing with the Louisiana Mid-Continental Oil and Gas Association, higher education membership to include Nicholls State University, Fletcher Technical Community College, South Central Louisiana Technical College, the Louisiana Community and Technical College system, the University of Louisiana, and a number of other organizations to ensure that we're producing the workforce of tomorrow, that we're targeting our resources and providing that workforce.
When the ribbon cutting is over, what do you want people to remember?
I want people to remember that this is not just simply a building, bricks and mortar. This is instead a location and a venue for generational opportunity for people throughout this community to be able to gain the skills necessary to be a part of this booming economy that we have.
Oh, it's just fantastic. The facility is state of the art. We were fortunate enough to have $4 million contributed by BP toward the facility. And in the state and our legislative delegation worked with the governor to match that $4 million, so we had adequate money to build a facility that doesn't scrimp in any way on the type of technology that's necessary to train production operators for the Gulf of Mexico.
I want people to remember that this is not just simply a building, bricks and mortar. This is instead a location and a venue for generational opportunity for people throughout this community to be able to gain the skills necessary to be a part of this booming economy that we have.
If people have questions like more information about the LTCS system and this facility, what should they do?
Absolutely. Reach out to the college. The folks at the college can provide information about the programs and about opportunities for enrollment.